Hello, my name's Kathleen McGuire, and I'm the Artistic Director and Conductor of the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. Welcome to the pre-concert talk for our performance of Magnificat, which will be held on Saturday, June 12th at Old First Presbyterian Church in San Francisco. This work was first performed in 1990 at Carnegie Hall, almost 20 years ago today, which was one of the reasons we've programmed this work. Another reason why we're performing the work this year is because this year John Rutter turns 65. When he turned 50, I happened to be in England and I was working on my master's degree. And I decided to write my dissertation on John Rutter to celebrate his 50th anniversary, and also because there hadn't been much written about him at the time. And I was very fortunate that I got to meet him and learn some things about the man that perhaps weren't known to other people. My dissertation was titled John Rutter at 50, A Survey of His Music and Influences. And one of the pieces I wrote about was the Magnificat. It's the largest of his large choral works. And in fact, he's the most performed composer of choral music of our generation. So it's certainly appropriate that we're performing his music. And here's something that he himself said about the Magnificat. I had long wished to write an extended Magnificat, but was not sure how to approach it until I found my starting point in the association of the text with the Virgin Mary. In countries such as Spain, Mexico, and Puerto Rico, feast days of the Virgin are joyous opportunities for people to take to the streets and celebrate with singing, dancing, and processions. These images of outdoor celebration were, I think, somewhere in my mind as I wrote, though I was not fully conscious of the fact till afterwards. I was conscious of following Bach's example in adding to the liturgical text with the lovely Old English poem of a Rose and the prayer Sancta Maria, both of which strengthen the Marian connection, and with the interpolated Sanctus to the Gregorian chant of the Missa cum Jubilo in the third movement, which seems to grow out of the immediately preceding thought, et sanctum nomen eius. The odd-numbered movements of this seven-movement work are somewhat similar in style to his Gloria, which is very grand and bold and even bombastic at times. The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus performed the Gloria in 2005, and it's included on our Home for the Holidays CD. This longer work, however, has interpolated movements in between that are of a different style, and I'll read from my dissertation. The even-numbered movements contrast considerably. The text of the second movement, of A Rose, a Lovely Rose, for instance, is a 15th century English poem. The origins of the text are depicted in the music with English folk song idioms such as simplicity and starkness of texture in the accompaniment, a plethora of unison singing, changing time signatures which are dominated by the speech rhythms, open and parallel fifths and fourths, and modality. This setting was taken from Rutter's Litchfield Canticles of the early 1970s. And it's interesting too because with the Requiem that he wrote, he also interpolated a movement, his 23rd Psalm that he'd written previously. So he has a tendency to write these individual movements, and then they all come together as a whole later on, which certainly happened in the Magnificat. I'll now play for you two excerpts, one from the first movement and one from the second movement, so you can hear the contrasting styles of the odd-numbered and the even-numbered movements. Magnificat is being performed by members of the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, with the San Francisco Girls Chorus alumni, and also the Community Women's Orchestra. The San Francisco Girls Chorus was founded in 1978, the same year as San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, but this will be the first time that we've actually performed together. It's also going to be the first time that the chorus has done a concert at Old First Presbyterian Church, which is located on Van Ness Avenue at the corner of Sacramento Street. It's an absolutely beautiful church with magnificent acoustics, and it's just the perfect place for us to do this work. The lobby of the church is also something worth noting. It's very beautiful and was painted by a man who came to the church. He was homeless, and he asked the church to take him in exchange for his work as an artist. He eventually died of AIDS, unfortunately, but there's a plaque in the lobby remembering him. So please take a look at that when you come to the church. Even though this work has religious overtones because of its title and the Latin text and so forth, and we're performing it in a church, John Rutter himself is not an overly religious man, but he is steeped in the tradition of the British choral music, and much of the world's choral music comes from religious backgrounds. But even if you're not religious, you can certainly get a lot from this music because it is so stunningly beautiful.